Does not stand the new Yahoo Mail. Hate it. And the reason is because I know the menu of the other one, and now it's getting too much like, I guess, like Gmail. That's what I didn't like about Gmail. See, I take a lot of photographs, and I send my photographs from my phone to my email so that I can put them up here on my computer. Yes, there's other ways I can do it. I can hook the computer to the phone, and sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't. So anyways, it ruins my rhythm, and they don't have the view menu anymore where it says view photos. I want to view my photos in one thing to see what I sent to myself. So anyway, it's bothering me, and I wanted to share that with you. So it is day 5, even though it's day 8 almost. Or is it? No, it is day 8. So anyway, I'm going to go back to where I was and tell you what we're talking about today. More walking away from stuff, which I feel like I share all the time because I kind of do, but not really. So let me see. Here's my post, and we're going to do day 5. But hey, you know what? Might get something done today. So you must be willing to let go of who you are to become who you want to be if you want some change in your life. So walking away is not just about toxic people. That's important, but it's also about walking away from anything, even things we once loved. Sometimes we kind of have to. Even that no longer serve us who we're becoming. I feel like I've done this before. But sometimes we do outgrow things, and some things lose their spark. So we get weighed down by things. And Dr. Wayne Dyer had said, which I liked, and oh, I look great today, don't I? Let's see if I can make myself look a little more presentable, but I look sloppy. Boy, it looks sloppy. Let's get a little comb through my hair, see if I can look like something that's good today. I'm going to be reading a little. Yes, I'm a little sideways because it bends a little here. But you have to die before you can live. So sometimes the old you has to go. And I believe in the story, maybe that's why, because I kind of repeat myself on things like what I write. Go to my Substack. It's there now. Description. Subscribe to this channel if you're going to. Please subscribe to this channel because I have a lot to share with you. And I have a lot of help for you with my hands-on marketing and all that. But this is, yeah, you have to let go of past identities is what we mean. You have to let yourself die. The attachments and even our cluttered hopes, and clutter is the operative word here, to step into the life that wants to be lived now. So I had a lot of storage units because I know this is the story about my storage units. And I lost 3 storages, I think, altogether. And it was very sad for me because I lost all my sheet music, maybe 500 pieces I collected over the decades. I had songs that were original by, like I would work with composers in my music classes, and I can do this without glasses. And I know there was some really good songs that I really liked to sing at auditions, and I had the music for it, for the piano player. No more. So somebody got a box full, basically from my type, and some of it I really want back, but that's the way it goes. I lost it because I wasn't able to pay it at the time. So there you go. And one of them, I can't believe how much they did. They worked with me for a long time. Very, very nice of them. It was Clutter. Don't like them anymore. And then they got new management, and they wanted $9,000 for my stuff that's probably not worth 1,000. Maybe it was worth 2. I don't think even if I had $9,000 at the time, that's a lot of money to pay for something that I don't even look at for years. So no. And that I didn't look at it for years. So sometimes you have to let it go. I'll have to have the memories. I know I said this yesterday, but so that'll make this one quick because I'm not even sure I'm not repeating myself anymore. But from what I saw, this is day 5, I believe. Let me double check myself because I don't think I put it up here. And then my cover photo, like I said, I can fix that later on the phone. Look here to see what happened yesterday since I both. Let to my I'm waiting for some also upload from Chatty. I have some load there. Let me see where they're not doing it. Nothing's. Let me see what's happening. My patients. What's happening? It's taking hours. Because I see nothing. Getting started? I thought you were already. So they're apparently. And that's where that goes. So now where it was. I'm here. And I'm going to go check. Oh, I have too many things up. So let me go check. Wow, that took a half a minute. Some push I apparently, because I'm sure, because that's what happens when I do stuff like this. Let's see my lives here. Yes, it says that was because that's my right now. I'm going to change that. Don't try to change others, which would have been, let me see, day 4. Yeah, yesterday. So we're day 5. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Are we live? I'm not seeing. Actually, let me see. In stream? No, I'm live. I'm on. Anybody there? Anybody come watch me? I wish someone would come on and watch, but you know, in time, more followers because there's good stuff to hear here. Good stuff. That was yesterday. Let me see. Don't try to change others. That was yesterday. Now we're right here. Walk away from what doesn't work. So it's a little bit different, just a little bit. I'm trying to see if that's actually on live because usually it's going to show me that it's on live. Let me try something here. I'll go because it'll tell me in there. I'm getting a message from somebody. That's a friend. Okay, let me take care of that. There's some stuff I got to take care of as soon as this is done. Whew, a lot of stuff I got to take care of. That's probably not very fun. And here we go. Okay, let's go to the phone. Sometimes on the phone it'll tell me, hey, you're streaming. Yeah, I'm with this new thing. You on YouTube. So let's see what happens when I go there. I see the cover. YouTube. So let's see what happens when I go there. Yep, I see myself. I see the cover. There I am. So let's see what happens when I go there. Yep, I see the cover. That's a double thing. I'm going to turn this off in a sec. Hello. And just see what happens here. See if it shows here. There it is. Hey. See what happens here. See if it shows. It probably makes a funny sound. Would be affecting you. Hey, stuff is finally coming down on Chatty. Chatty's sending me a carousel for my new thing. In fact, I'll tell you about that while we're here, and then I'll go back to the article. So what's happening is my school has changed. Arlen has this great 5-day thing we're doing. If you're in a group, I recommend you go there. I should give you that one, how to group. And you guys should join up Arlen because she has the greatest classes. So she inspired me. She's the one who got me started and everything. It's really, really worth it. And I'm going to tell you about it. Joining my school, joining hers, and joining mine. Put it in the comments here. Sometimes, it's funny how the comments don't stay. I don't know why. But when I go back, the comments aren't there anymore. So sometimes I'll have to move things into places. But while you're watching, or if you're watching right now and you can see the comments, all the better. Let's see, where am I? Yes, there we go. Okay. And then I go here. I get a setting. Yeah. So it's not in. And I'm an affiliate. Yes, I should be. Earn a commission. Yes. So, yes, that's okay. That's a different thing. Here we go here. Let's go to this one. So, if you join her great group, where I got a lot of this from, and you can also get that class, do it. Just do it because you'll want to. And you do it here. I'm sending it here. I wish I could put it up on the screen for those who are looking at it. Wonderful classes. She's really inspired me. That's her first 5K. Go there. It's totally worth it. Can you put stuff on the screen here? I wonder. I know I just got the screen knocked out. That was great. Okay. What can we do? Edit. I don't want to edit while I'm on. I don't think I should. Share screen. Who would I be sharing it with? That's sharing it with somebody, right? Select a window or screen. I can share. Oh, I can share a screen. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Not now, I guess. And I see that. Can I do here? I can share that, but I get that part. I've understood that. It's too bad we can't go directly on the screen, or can we? I don't know that I've seen anybody live able to do that, but YouTube might be fun. Can live put things right there that will stay on the live when it's done again. That would be really cool. It would be very helpful, because maybe we were sharing websites as we are right now, and instead of having to go back and put it into the description or whatever, right now when I just shared right here in chat, which, because I noticed the chat doesn't seem to stay, let me see what I can do about it. But so if nobody's watching me live, which they're not right now, from what I can tell, I don't know that they'll see it. That's what I'm thinking. So my thought is, how does that work? Channel level settings. What's this say? Something dashboard. Pop out dashboard. I don't know if I want to do that. If anybody sees this and knows these things, I'm going to ask ChatGPT quite soon. But how do we do that? How do we keep that? If I have top fans, I'd like to have fans. Participants, moderation activity, that actions, pop out chat. Can I pop out chat? I mean, does that make sense to me? It does. Well, let me see. And will it stay? I just popped out chat. I don't know that it does anything. I'm waiting. It's waiting for something. There it is. It says, welcome to chat guidelines. Learn more. I don't know. But I would like to share this with you a lot. Can I pin it? It says I can message, so I did. Well, let's see if that happens and if it stays when I go off, because I have seen that I don't see the comments once I rewatch it. And I always rewatch it right after. So we'll go back to what we're talking about being able to walk away and me itching to death commonly. Okay, I think I got it. I think I saved it. Okay, and there should be one more. Final coming up now. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. They're sending me my final one now. So I'm going to go to Substack. Again, subscribe. Then you could read these directly. I also have something up there extra I put up today called the telephone technique, which is from Neville Goddard, or some of the people who taught us stuff, and you might like it a lot. It's there. I would tell you about it, but I'd rather you join my school. Now, my school you should join. Let's see about that, because I just did her school. So let me put up here in the thing. I have my own, and my own, like I said, based on many things, and I'm going to give you a lot about it. So let me go to my school here. I have two. One is really aimed mostly to that kind of thing. So it's called, there's one called Create Your Thing, Ange. That's your niche. That's kind of a more businessy, but it's also, everything I do is going to have a spiritual bent on it. And I call it a creative space to explore your passion, start magic articles. You get stuff that nobody else gets. You get a lower price if you want to do my $11 find your thing or enhance your thing, which is the $11 one. It will only be $9 if you go there. And if you go to, if you want the $33 one, it's only 22, which is, you'll learn more about ChatGPT. You'll be on the Zoom with me, and I think you'll like it. I hope you're still seeing me. I am going to hit this for the invite. Somebody's texting me right now. No, oh, that's just somebody from the Dr. Pepper thing, which is very nice. But right now, I like Dr. Pepper. Don't get me wrong. That's just where we are. My school, yes, I go back. Okay. I'm almost always able to get that here, about to invite people. Okay. Invite. My invitations. Invite. There we go. This is mine. And right now, you get to join. And what happened? Nothing here. We popped out. Okay, we're going to restore the chat. And here we go. So you can join mine. What's my thing, Ange? And we're going to paste that here. It will be $11 a month. If you do that, you get a free thing that I created called the 12 Steps of Law of Assumption. And it's basically to go alongside the Alcoholics Anonymous and all those 12 steps, but it's the law of assumption. Because with Alcoholics Anonymous, and I was in a 12-step group, but I was in CODA, which is Codependence Anonymous. I'm not alcoholic, but I certainly had that issue, codependent. And I'm about building confidence anyway. So in my 12 steps of law of assumption, and again, you'll get that. It's a digital download if you join one of my schools or both. And if you join both, because then I know you're in both, I'll send you something else. If you join you get the digital download of the 12 steps, and I have them compared with the AA. AA, and I'm just using that as the term because that applies to all of them, NA, CODA, etc. They kind of take the power away from you. I think step one is I admit that I have no power over it. And no disrespect to anybody, because I think that's a great stepping stone. Again, the 12 steps helped me a lot and got me here. But the law of assumption will tell you, as Neville will tell you, which is the law of assumption, is that you have complete power over you because you are. The AA is very Christian oriented. And look, Neville was Christian to a degree, but that everything is about us in the Bible. So I have to give it over to God. Well, you're giving it over to yourself. So I rewrote and refurbished the 12 steps to go more towards the law of assumption. So if you join, which it's a month at this point, then you will get the digital download with the comparison with the AA. If you join for 1 year, and if you did $11 a month for the whole year, it's going to be about $132. But if you join for 1 year, which I have this option, you can join for $55. That's if you pay $55, you don't get the 12 steps of law of assumption, plus you'll get an article that I'm writing up about how to put into action all of those 12 steps of law of assumption. Kind of like they would give you in the big book from AA, but it won't be that big. Not yet. Maybe there'll be a time I'll write a book that big, but right now you'll get a digital download of some steps you can take. Maybe it'll turn into an ebook. It may not be one yet. It might just be a couple pages, but I'll give you at least a couple things like that. Kind of like I would say I do with my $11 What's My Thing, Ange. I give you like a list of 6 things you can do based on some questions you answer from me. So you should check it out. Let me give you the other one. This is Create Your Thing with Ange. That's the niche one for those who are really interested in, it's kind of the business side of it. And then I have one that's just about law of assumption. Some of the stuff will be in there, but this is really law of assumption and completely that. I think it has a picture of a cat on it, strangely. Maybe that's from Arlen, that my artist spirituality. Because my group in general, when you join me, you are part of, congratulations, your C.A.S.T, C-A.S.T. Creative Artist Spiritual Tribe, Creative Artist Spiritual Training. Now, the Creative Artist Spirituality is going to be almost completely about spirituality. Law of Assumption, Neville Goddard, spirituality, focusing on the creative actors, singers, fine artists, writers, and photographers. That's how I wrote it up. And that one is also $11. You can join both. Don't make sure that they have differences. There are some things that will repeat, but you get a little bit, you get if you're a member of it. So you might check into that. It's kind of like Arlen has several schools. So, you can have things about your different niche here. Issue in here. Yes, yes. What happened? Where'd it go? I want to go back. I hope it's going to last, so I will probably have to go in at some point and just, go the other way around and make sure that I take care of it, meaning that I would just have to go to, go back to you, and on the description, I'll make sure you have these connections too, if you'd like to do that. Again, remember, you're getting some really neat things if you join that. I'm also offering, for those who take the $11, what's done for you, what's my thing, you will get the law of attraction write-up. Like I said, the law of assumption, law of assumption write-up. All of this I'll make sure you get different things for your digital download because they all offer different things. And if they are things I've been working on, that will be along the lines of all of this for you. Join if you join both of my, I'll offer this now because I'm here. Let's say you join both of my schools because you want to. I would never force you if you want to. You can join both my schools, right? If you do, and you do the $11 a month on each one, so that'll be $22 a month, on your side. If you're doing it month by month, and it will add up to it'll be $132 a year if you keep it at just month to month. But you always have the option not to. You can always step out or churn, as they call it. I think you can step out if it's not working for you. If you're not ready to make the commitment, although I think you pay the dollars for the year, both of them will be $55 each, so that'd be $110 if you did both. Well, if you do the $11 and join for the month, both of them, I'll give you the write-up too, but that's for joining both, and I'll see your name, so I'll know, and I'll give you both. If you do only one and you pay the $55, yes, you're going to get the write-up about assumption, and you're going to get the law. Now, I call it the list because it's just the 12 of them compared to the AA 12. And then if you, like I said, do a year, then you get that plus action steps if you do one of them. And then if you, like I said, do a year, then you get that plus action steps if you do one of them. Now, if you join both of them for $11, you will get the same thing as the ones who join for 1 year. Now, if you join for 1 year, you're going to get that, yes. Okay. Because I want to make sure that there's a little more for joining for a year. I want you to get a little more. If you join for a year on one of them, you're going to get the law of assumption. I'll tell you what, you'll get the law of assumption. It's even one better for you. Only not better, but just because you're doing this and joining and really helping me grow my following and subscribe. But yes, because this is free. So subscribe to my YouTube. And Substack would be great too, because that's also free at this point. But definitely subscribe here. Join my school for the $55 a year. You're going to get one of them. You will get the digital download. Get one of them. You will get the digital download of the 12 steps of assumption compared to AA. And you will. This is already automatic. And the 12, how to put them into action write-up. And book published. I have 2 books published on Amazon. One of them at $55, you will get it's soft cover, but I will send you, make sure I have your address. I will send you for that, because I have copies of it for you. Well, I will have copies for you. I will send you a copy of my first book. I have 2. Eventually, there's going to be 12. I do everything in 12. And it's called A Creative Artist Spiritual Training. And I will send you the first book. If you join both, I will send you both books that are already published. And I will show that to you. But that's if you join both groups at the whole year. So if you spend the $110 and you're paid for the year, you will get both of my books. You will get the Law of Assumption compared to the 12 steps plus the write-up. Okay, that's for you. If you join at only $11 and you join both of them at $11, and I'll see that, you get the Law of Assumption write-up plus the Law of Assumption 12 action steps. Okay, if you join one at $11, you get the Law of Assumption compared to AA. That's what you get. That's what I'll send you. I'll email that to you because that's digital. They're both digital. Both the Law of Assumption things right now are digital. And if you join 2 of them, then, like I said, you won't get just one. If you join both groups at $11 a month, then you will get the write-up. Okay, but my $55 people who do the whole year are going to get the extra. If they do one group, one school, they're going to get my first book. If you do both at 55, you will get both of my books in soft cover, will be sent to your address or whatever address you want to give me, because you can give me a P.O. box. I think I can send them there too. Whatever works for you. You can have it sent to your office if you want. It'll just be, it's going to be, mail, regular mail. They're only about 35 pages each, but I believe you'll enjoy them. And also, and I'll do more about that on both about how to get those books if you're not, if you're not getting them. Um, at this point, if you're doing the $11, you can order them from Amazon, and I'll make sure that that's in there somewhere. I think it might already be in one of them, but it may not. So we'll do that. And that's where we are. My other group, I was going to give you a bad one, but I just have to say, invite. Here we go. Well, excuse me. This is the Creative Artist Spirituality. And I just got the good reminder that I need to take Prilosec. A little hard sometimes because I know, because I feel it. There you go. And I'll make sure those go into the description if they don't stay in the comments, because sometimes they don't. Now, we were talking about changing your life, which is important. And now we're on day 9, and I'm doing day 5. Not uncommon for me. And we're going to go down where I was there. So everyone makes mistakes in life, but that doesn't mean they have to pay for them the rest of their life. I what they out of it. It's not mine. Sometimes good people make bad choices. It doesn't mean they're bad. It means they're human, which is in the article. Walk when something drains you, dulls you, or confuses your gut. This is not just the fatal flaws, because we talked about that before. This is just if something is not working for you anymore, and it can happen. It can somebody you've known all your life. It just doesn't. Sometimes you leave school and you don't have anything in common anymore. You kind of fall away. And if it gets to the point where it's just not working for you at all, you don't have to stay. You can leave. Walk away like the goddess or god that you are, and walk toward life. And we're gods, all of us, but God of ourselves, God in you. And we do that. So, obligated to explain your peace to anyone. If you need peace, you need peace. I don't recommend, I hear about this, don't put yourself into a thing where you're isolating yourself. But if somebody is bothering you, yes. Being socialized, which we do for our children, because we need them to learn how to get along in society, is great. But sometimes seniors and any age will isolate themselves completely from other people, like we did during pandemic, because we had to, unless we're living with somebody, and that's another story. But you don't want to put yourself into unless it really works for you. But having no contact with other humans, sometimes, yes, you can have cats and dogs, and I think it's great. I'm not against it at all. I might end up being a cat lady. I might end up being a cat dog lady. I don't know. Or a bird lady, because I like birds. But I've never had a bird. But I digress, which I do sometimes. I would say keep some kind of social life, because it's very good for us. That's why they have senior centers and places that are free. You can talk to other people, and you should. It's good for you. I've been known to isolate myself as an only child, and sometimes I do like to be by myself, which is fine. I think it's fine to be by yourself. You should when you want to, but don't do it all the time. At some point, get some kind of thing. I go out, take a walk. I talk to people in public. God forbid I talk. As we know, I talk a lot. So, but sometimes when something doesn't work anymore, you think you have to be a certain way with them often, and sometimes it just means it's time to go, time to leave. So that is today's lesson. Walk away when you need to. And if you have more questions, absolutely put them right. Send them to my email. Well, you can do comments, I think, and watch my other stuff. Like I said, subscribe to my thing, and I have different videos. I have how to cure a panic attack. Go check it out. It's right there. It would be the treasure, video 3 of 4. And I think I have another one, but I will make sure there'll be more in there to make sure, because I have some techniques for you. Here's my email. I'm going to put it here. If you have any questions you want to direct to me, I have several emails. If you see them somewhere, you'll know. Well, if you go to all these places, you'll see my email all over the place. So Angel Aura 28, Angel, the aura of an angel, AURA 28, Angel Aura 28 at yahoo.com. I'll stick with Yahoo for the moment, but not my favorite anymore, the way they're changing it up. I like the old one, unless they find a way to make it work. And then there's Angela Teresa Ejic, which is my full name at yahoo.com. And also you'll find that if you Google me, you'll probably find all kinds of ways to reach me because I have those things. I have my Substack. I have some websites that are kind of underused right now. And I have books on Amazon. If you search author at Angela Teresa Ejic on the Yahoo search engine, and if you put books, or I don't even think you have to, you just put Angela Teresa Ejic, and that's Teresa, Angela like an angel with an A on the end, scarlet letter, Teresa, Teresa, and Ejic, Egic. And for those who ask, it is pronounced Ejic. I think H, I believe it had an H on it because we were from Serbia, Belgrade. And my dad, born there. He didn't know that. He thought he was born in Pennsylvania, but he got, I guess they came to America when he was about, I don't know, 2, 3, from what I've heard. He thought he was born here. He was born in 1913. But from what I found from some of the research one of my cousins did, they didn't come here till 1916, 1917. So that means that my dad and Uncle Pete, Uncle Pete was born in 1915. That means both of them were born in Serbia, and I think they both thought they were born in Pennsylvania. So they were very young. My dad might have been as old as 5. But anyways, they moved and they ended up in Pennsylvania, McKeesport, where there was a lot of Serbians there. I don't know if that's true anymore, but in that time there was, because my family's there, and I know there was other people from Serbia, which was called Austria because it was owned by Austria, and it was really Yugoslavia. Was it Yugoslavia? No, it was Serbia and Croatia, and we're Serbian. And not that I care, that because I think same. It's a religious war, anyways. And then it was Yugoslavia for a long time. I grew up, I'm Yugoslavian, but I'm actually Serbian, half. And you can tell the other half is Irish, yeah. And so, what was I was there, but that's what Egypt is. So when they came over on the boat, which I know they did because somewhere my cousin did find out the name of the boat and I forgot what it was. It was called King something. When they came over, I would assume they ended up in Ellis Island, unless there was a port. I don't think there's a port in Pennsylvania. I know there's a lot of water there, but I don't know there's a port. But they ended up in Pennsylvania, like I said, as many people did, because some people came into Ellis Island and they obviously ended up elsewhere. When my grandparents spoke no English, Serbian, full Serbian, didn't speak any English at all, they probably asked their name and they said Egic, which it is. My name in full Serbian I can say is Angelica Egic. This is my Angela Egic. Angelica Egic is how they said it. Because when I went to the Serbian church, that's how they would pronounce my name. There was an H on it, but on the records, from what I've seen, because a friend of mine who's a genealogist, to send me the manifest, so I don't believe we came into Ellis Island from what I read, is that they spelled it A-G-I, spelled it A-G-I-C. That's how they heard it. They heard Egic, and I guess they thought Ajic, and somewhere along the line it became Ejic. My dad, that's how he pronounced it, that's how he said it. So there is an Egic family, but they might be related because I think everybody with that name from Serbia is probably related. And there are quite a few online now. There are some who I guess didn't get out. So I know my grandmother had brothers and they were still there. And I don't know if they went to war. They could have died in the war. But they could have had families too. And my dad, he passed away a long time ago. My mother once, and I don't know what happened to it, but she had a letter. It was from England, from somebody named Ejic, last name Ejic. That was a relative. I have looked at different things for England, because they have a pretty good thing of who lives where, and they have, I went to the town council to find the Ejic family. I couldn't find it. So I don't know if they left or if they passed on or if the person my dad had a letter from who might have been his uncle, might have been a cousin, I don't know, if he passed on or if, and the letter's lost. I don't know if my mother threw it away or just got lost, but they were there and I thought he had a family. So if he did, either his family moved or something like that. I have relatives because my dad was the firstborn of 8 children, and so I have lots of cousins. And of course, the male cousins. There is one actually the same name as my dad, Michael Ejic. Hi, Mike. Mike is in Pennsylvania still, but not Keysport. I think it's a different area, and he's married, but he doesn't have children. And his sister got married, and her name changed, so she has children. So we do have relatives all over the place. And my cousin who did the genealogy was Aunt Dorothy's. That's the youngest of my dad's family. Aunt Dorothy's child, and she had several. Again, they have a different last name because Aunt Dorothy got married. Now, I would say of my family, which is cool. So we do have relatives. But Nick, Uncle Nick Ejic, he did have a son, Robert Ejic, and I'm throwing them out there. I don't know if they're online or if they watch me because I was in touch with Robert's children, who were also at the time when they were young girls, were still obviously under the name Ejic. I don't know if they've married by now, but they were here. And I was working years ago because since I'm in New York, and Nick was in New York. Nick ended up living in Nyack, New York. So a lot of the Ejics were here, but I never had a lot of, I wasn't in touch with them that much, especially when I moved here. They didn't keep it, I never met any of them in person at that point once I lived here. I met Uncle Nick, but that was when he came. Did he come to Phoenix? I guess he did, because I never saw him in New York. Like, now they're all passed away now, the 8 children. Yeah, they all are. And Robert Ejic is still here. I believe he lives in New York. I've never met him that I know of. And his daughters, who were in college here, I would talk to them online well, one of them I talked to online for a while, and then she just didn't communicate anymore, which is fine. You know, off doing her own thing, whatever that is. She could have got married. I don't really know. I didn't get overly close to her, but her name was Ejic at the time. And I know some of my cousins with other last names because again, parents were either female and married to somebody else, etc. Have some cousins in California, or a cousin. Maybe he's in Arizona now, but anyways, and his daughter, as the family goes on, I think is she in Hawaii? But I don't know. They spread out all over the place. But if you meet somebody, but when I was working in New York many years ago, somebody wrote me a note in the office I was in because it was a big building and said, I think you're my cousin. And it was one of the Egypt relatives who had a different last name because she was married. So I don't know she must have been Nick's daughter or something like that. She had to be one of those, unless it was just one of the other people's kids, because I know most of the children by name. Haven't met them all. Haven't met all my cousins. And my mother is one of 14 children, and I think I've met every single one of those cousins, at least the first cousins. Maybe not their kids, but being that my mother was the fourth of 14 children, and they're all been Americanized for quite a while. Irish background, but all pretty much far back because I was trying to get a dual citizenship in Ireland, but my mother's parents were born in America. Their parents were born in America, which I was very disappointed because I could have got a dual citizenship if one of them were born in Ireland. And I thought that one of them were Irish born or something like that. And then when I did some research, found out they were born in America too. My great grandparents on my mom's side. And then I don't know if I was able to go further, but as far back as I could get, which might have just been my great grandparents, it might have been great great on one side because there would be 6 of those. At least I found 2 or 4 of them. They were born in America. So somebody in Ireland, because I know, and my mother's maiden name is Collins. So we know that that goes back to Ireland at some point in England. Lots of relatives. I think we're distantly related. I've always said Phil Collins. I called him Uncle Phil for a long time because we all have singing talent. And Judy Collins. My mother said we're definitely related to an actor who I don't even know if he might have passed on, but I don't know. Gary Collins, for those who may have heard of him or know it. My mother said we are related to him for sure. She knows that. I don't know how distantly. One day I'll do the DNA thing and see if they can hit my relatives. Like you can't swing a stick and not hit a Collins somewhere. And thanks to my Uncle Curly, my mother's brother, the oldest of the family, there's probably a lot of relatives because he had 6 wives in this lifetime. I think he was reincarnation of King Henry VIII, by the way. And he pretty much beheaded them all, not literally, but close enough, and had many children with them. And he had children outside of his marriages a lot. So I think Uncle Curly was trying to father the world, and he may have quite a bit of it. So I don't know if they all carried the name of Collins, depending on the situation. But sometimes, for many years, I know that they would come out of the woodwork and say, "Hey, Curly was my Kurt." His real name was Everett. If you're out there and you think you know that Everett Collins was your father, he was living in Arizona a lot of the time, but he's lived other places. Um, hey, hi, cousin. Yeah. And I'm here if you want to. So yeah, that's something. And I went to school with some people named Collins who may or may not be relatives. Again, don't know. Kept in touch with some of them. It was cool. But the ones I do know about, most of the cousins, like I said, the first cousins, besides Curly's kids, because I don't think I met all of them. I think I've met all of the first cousins at some point. I've met some of Curly's kids because some of them were, when he was married and we go visit and all that stuff. I mean, I know that. And one I was raised with, one of his children was raised with us for 8 years. Actually, a little more than that, but he was with us for 8 years, and then he went back with his dad for 8 years, and then came back to us for a bit longer when he was 15. He was with us from 8 months old till he was about 8 years old, and I was a year and a half old till 10 years old. So he was raised as my brother. That's one of my stories I'll talk about another time fully. And to his dad and one of the stepmothers, not his biological mother. And he didn't meet her till he was 17. And then he was living with us again. He came back to stay with us when he was about 15. And so then he stayed continually with my mother, with us for a long time. And he's still around, but leave it at that for right now. Um, but he was raised as my brother. So I would say I wasn't really raised an only child, but I was an only child for 8 of those years after a year and a half old. I was an only child up until a year and a half old. I was a big sister. Yes, and I used to beat him up all the time. He got taller than me. When he came back at 15, he was like 6 foot something. So I quit doing that because I only stopped at about 5'9". And he was a short little guy when he started, but he shot up. His mother is very tall. His mother was very tall. And his biological mother, like I said, we met her when he was 17. We all met her at that point. And Curly's second wife, by the way. And Curly had about 6. So we met her later. At least I